Hello guys, welcome to this new video. I'm Andrea Papito here. I'm co-founder of ESENtaxa Academy with Enzo Piccolo Manganelli, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about the fact if you can be a digital nomad in Italy, if it makes sense, and being an Italian fiscal resident and being an Italian digital nomad allows you to be tax-free. So what is the best things to do if you want to relocate to Italy as a digital nomad? I think the first advantage is that you can have digital domicile is the way of be connected with Italian public administration or with the Italian tax agency through a legal email called PEC, P-A-C. So this email allows you to have a legal communication. So if you need to send a contract or a letter, or if you receive an audit, a check from the Italian tax agency, this email has the same legal effect of legal post, legal mail with the proof of receipt. And once you have set up this digital domicile, you basically can be anywhere in the world and you will never miss any important communication. The second reason why it's starting to be quite powerful in 2021, exactly this year, is because Italy also allows you to have the new way of accessing to Italian administration websites through the SPID, which is SPID, which is basically an app that now allows you to log in everywhere in these websites, government websites, and you can also check your position, social contribution status, tax file return, or you can, from the other side, you can also ask your accountant to be your official mailbox. So you can receive at your behalf any kind of communication from the Italian tax agency, and he can deal with it. He can then forward you back everything, and you can talk to him to deal with any kind of situations. The second reason why move to Italy as an Italian fiscal resident and as a digital nomad makes sense is because you can apply the Forfait Regime. The Forfait Regime, it's one of the most, let's say, less bureaucratic regime that Italy ever had. So you don't have to apply VAT on your invoices, you don't have to really count your real costs, so you don't have accountability basically, and that makes this regime extremely easy to manage. Everything can be done online. You don't need to see your accountant. Your accountant can be anywhere in Italy, and you can set up your resident, let's say north, and your accountant is in Sicily, or vice versa. And then it's quite important for digital nomad to have a fiscal residency somewhere, which is, somebody call it like a base, because if you move around the world continuously and you have the risk of being considered tax resident in some other countries, and those countries, they think that you have some ties with them, while you don't have any other ties because you don't have a proof of any other fiscal residence in other countries. So it means that it's always important to have a base. Be tax resident nowhere. It's quite dangerous for this situation. But if you apply for digital domicile in Italy along with the Forfait Regime, you have the proof of the fiscal residence certificate that you can give to the country that start to complain about taxes, and start to say, no, I think you have ties with me, you pass more than 103 days in my territory, pay taxes here. But you say, no, I have this fiscal residency in Italy, so you cannot actually ask me anything back. Of course, this needs to be clarified a little bit with your tax expert, tax advisor, but most generally, if you have this certificate, it will help you a lot. I have made a video on the Forfait Regime, so you can check more in details what are constraints to apply for this regime and what are the limits while you're using this regime. But for the taxation point of view, it's not a tax haven, but still you have an interesting taxation. So it's 5% taxation plus 25% of social contribution, but all this is not 30%. It's just a percentage calculated after you have removed the forfeit cost. That's the reason why it's called Forfait Regime. So the state tells you, based on your activity, I think you need to deduct 40% of cost or 20% of cost if you're a consultant, or if you trade, if your business is drop shipping, for example, or on e-commerce side. your deductibility by default is very big. So let's say you remove 40% as a deductibility from your revenue, and what remains is taxable or imposable for Social Security. I had made a calculation on this. The average cases is the average taxation, tax plus social contribution, would be 20% in average cases. And for some activity would be less, like 12% for 5 years. And then after 5 years, you exit from the startup status and you will pay 15%. It's still not so much, but it's not a tax haven. So if you want to stay in Italy as a digital nomad, move around Italy, and you have Italian clients, it will make sense. And it allows you to work from anywhere in the world because it doesn't require you to stay in Italy physically more than 183 days. Just the fact that you have registered in Italy as Italian fiscal resident, just the fact that you have put your name in the municipality where you want to have your fiscal domicile, it's enough to be considered Italian fiscal resident. So it might be quite good for who wants to make sure to have a base somewhere and go around the world and travel through the world and keeping their work activity wherever they want. But again, it's not a tax haven. It's still good compared to the rest of the European countries. The third point is to apply for the Inpatriate Regime. So, and here it's the most interesting point. With the Inpatriate Regime, you can reach the tax-free status, because in the worst case, if you relocate in the south of Italy, you have 90% deduction on your revenue. So only 10% of your revenue will be taxed, and it will be taxed with the Italian brackets, which span from 23% up to 43%. So if you deduct 90%, it will be 2.3% up to 4.3% in the worst case if you have huge revenue, like even €1 million as a revenue. So, and if you have also some tax expenditure, if you make some Italian real estate investments, you can also completely remove the rest of the taxation, and you can even stay tax-free for 5 years or 10 years if you have the way of expand this Inpatriate Regime. So the question is, the Inpatriate Regime can be combined with the lifestyle of a digital nomad? The answer is depends. If you're a digital nomad that likes to stay in a certain country at least 1 year, 2 years, well, it makes sense. It's perfect for you. But if you're like a type of digital nomad that likes to move around continuously, then the Inpatriate Regime is not really your opportunity. You cannot apply for this regime. The reason why is that one of the constraints about this regime is that you have to physically stay in Italy at least 6 months. So from Italy, you have to carry out your activity. And this is a very important point. It's one of the most important points for the Inpatriate Regime. So you should actually stay at minimum 2 years. Your name has to be registered in the National Population Registry for 24 months consecutively. That makes 2 fiscal years automatically. And you have to physically carry out your activity from Italy at least 6 months plus 1 day. Okay, so if you're intended to stay in Italy for all this period and then the rest of the month you can travel also abroad, then you can consider the Inpatriate Regime and reach a taxation of just 2% or 3%, or in certain cases even be tax-free for a lot of years. So, another point is that the Inpatriate Regime also allows you to open a position as a freelancer in Italy that automatically give you the access to the fiscal domicile. So, as you can see here, also everything can be managed online nowadays. So, my conclusion is that you can actually have to make sure with your tax advisor or Italian accountant to check your exactly specific situation and which one of this regime has more sense for you. Okay, because you have to be careful, you have to respect all the conditions, because if you don't, the Italian tax agency, after a lot of years, might ask you back documentation, proofs that you might not have, you did it wrong, and then he will ask you back everything, plus interest, plus a big fine. And I don't think you want to end up in this situation. I have also another point for those who just start a new business in Italy, there's also the opportunity to start up with very small incomes, and this is called occasional work. In case you don't want to open a VAT position because you just want to check if your business makes sense in Italy, then what you can do is to apply for the prestazione occasionale, which is in English called occasional work. Up to 5,000 euro per year, per fiscal year. It means from January, any kind of income generated between 1st of January and 31st of December of that year. If you don't pass 5,000 euro, you are tax free, and also you don't have to pay any social contribution. This is called the famous occasional work. So if you have a very small income, maybe you're a student, you want to stay in Italy because you were hired by you have some reimbursement, you are asked to have a traineeship, and you want to just round your salary with some occasional works, then this is your good opportunity. After you see that your business is growing, it makes sense then open a VAT as a forfait regime or eventually as an Inpatriate regime. But this has to be checked always with your accountant or with your tax advisor. So to help you to do this, we have opened the new Italian Tax Academy, which is the online platform where you can learn in advance all the Italian fiscal system and all the Italian tax schemes and benefits. And once you have learned everything, you can searching for a tax advisor. But we have also included in the course the 1-hour tax advisor with Enzo Piccolo Manganelli. So the idea, the concept is that you learn in advance everything. You talk to him, he checks with you your personal specific situation, and you can really see if you can benefit from one of these tax regimes and what can be used, what is your best regime without any issue, without any problem. Because every single situation is different and needs to be analyzed carefully. So the course gives you all the knowledge in advance, and then you can address to your consultant the correct questions. So you don't waste 1 hour consultancies just to receive an introduction of everything, because you already have introduction through the course. So, and in this course, you also learn about 1 euro home, how to invest in real estate, or renovate the real estate for free, some refurbished for free thanks to the 110% super bonus. And this course is also addresses for those who are high net worth individual and wants to be new tax resident in Italy, paying just 100K. In taxation once per year. And also for pensioner, if you are pensioned and you want to relocate to Italy, you will pay only 7% of taxes if you relocate to south of Italy. This and a lot of other information, tax strategy, use case scenarios are in our online platform in the Italian Tax Academy. First step you can do is just click in the link in the description below. You will get for free our ebook, Italy, the new fiscal haven in Europe. And after that, you will receive for free some video lessons, and you will understand exactly what we are going to talk about. And if you like it, you can purchase the entire course, which is composed by video lessons and plus materials, exercises, tax strategies, and tax planning that you can exercise by yourself and present to our tax advisor and check with him if it makes sense for your specific situation. That's it for today. Thank you. And if you like to stay updated with the new Italian regulation news on the Italian fiscal system, just subscribe the channel. And thank you. See you in the next video.